Welcome to Challenge Bandits. You're going to see two videos today as two teams fight for your vote. The challenge this week was to make a WWE entrance. Team Synergy is currently Matt, Gary and Jonathan. And Team Fusion is currently Dave, Simon and Paul. But before we get into it, we need to find out the winners of last week's challenge, which was to recreate a momentous historic event. Our wonderful viewers have voted, and the winner with 80% of the vote is Team Fusion. So it's Dave, Paul and Simon. Well done.
Everyone loves a mobile phone.
That's high.
Yeah, that's good. Right, now let's get on and see how Team Fusion did with creating their WWE intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event. Making his way to the ring, weighing in at 420 pounds, from parts unknown, your Challenge Bandits champion, Big Daddy Paul!
Well, what can we say about this guy, JR? The self-proclaimed champion. I think he got that belt from Walmart. He is one mean SOB. That's all I can tell you. I wouldn't want to be full attitude right now. Speaking of which, here he is.
It's probably a good thing you've been carrying that thing around, but you can hand it back later on. I don't mind. Because you really know the strength you can get, brother. And tonight, when I step in that ring with you, we go toe-to-toe. I can guarantee you, the Floretitude is coming out in force. 1, 2, 3.
Time for these two to fight for the gold.
That was a lot of fun making that one.
That's brilliant.
Loving the inclusion of the broccoli? The broccoli?
The what?
Yeah, the broccoli.
The broccoli?
Well, what was your name, Si? Was it Floretitude?
Floretitude.
How did you come up with that name?
I don't know, because I'm someone in broccoli.
Yeah.
Well, that was the name, and then my finishing move would be, the Floretitude. I don't know what that move would be. Maybe I've got to try and devise that with the boys, and add that to the community channel, perhaps. I don't know.
The broccoli came from nowhere. Were you holding that whole time, or did you stop recording, go and get it and bring it back?
No. Oh, yeah. And pause. Hang on, I've got an idea.
It looked like it was off.
It did look like it suddenly appeared.
It was like broccoli and walked off.
Yeah.
Paul, you look like you had a pretty hulking frame going on.
Yeah, I worked pretty hard in the last, during lockdown to get into shape, and managed to find my abs. So very happy.
And that was at 420 pounds as well. Like,
I'm 7'4".
Ah, okay.
That makes sense.
I did notice that Paul had a magic power though, because he threw his belt off before he went into the ring. Once he was in the ring, boom, he was holding up his belt again.
Yeah, I got it back. There's people around the ring. There's like ring crew.
Like the
get on the floor, jump in the ring.
Hurrying across to get the ring. I got it. I'm not convinced that belt would go around your waist, Paul, I've got to say.
That's very rude. That's unbelievably rude thing to say.
It's more a comment of like how small the belt is, rather than, you are suitably and perfectly sized for a £400 man.
£420 man.
Yeah, you're well proportioned, Paul. It's just that the belt looked like it wouldn't be sufficient.
That belt is top tier, manufactured, handmade, handcrafted by master blacksmiths. And you've just besmirched their work by saying it's a child's toy. I'm disgusted.
Where did you get your inspiration for your commentary?
Oh yeah, well I took it obviously from I was trying to do Michael Cole and JR, the classic combo.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael Cole.
Michael Cole with that deep voice.
Yeah, he was a bit higher, wasn't
he? Yeah.
It was good, Dave. It was good. Those little bits.
Well, let's hear some other people do a JR impression. So you just say like, I wouldn't want to be that guy. The JR
Adrian doesn't know who JR is. He's just staring at his monitor like.
I can't say I know who he is either, apart from a character in Dallas.
But I like the fan cam. That was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were very excitable, those fans.
Yeah.
They follow the champ everywhere. Somebody like, I'll wake up and they've them in there. Go to sleep and they've them in there.
I gotta say, I thought I saw a glint in one of their eyes, like they were supporting Floretitude.
That's a contentious subject. They were. Needless to say, they've started eating broccoli now.
One of the little chaps looked like he'd been stung by a herd of bees.
One of the little chaps had a black eye.
Oh really? I didn't see that.
Did he try and touch the belt before he started filming?
Yeah, he did. So I just gave him a little DDT.
Yeah.
But yes. Or he may have ran into something at school. One of those two things. You can decide for yourself which one it was.
Right, so we check out how Team Synergy got on.
Yes.
Yes, let's. That sounds good.
Where is he? He's right there. He doesn't move and he don't care. He's Static Man. You wonder if he's real when he strikes a pose. Next thing you're on the mat, how nobody knows. He's Static Man. Static Man. Everyone wants to be him. He's just your cup of tea. Let's go all head now. 1, 2, 3.
Well, I know I haven't seen much wrestling, but has Jonathan ever seen wrestling?
Could be, yeah, debatable.
Very well put together.
Greco-Roman.
And does that play, and then it just gets to the end, and all of a sudden Matt's in the ring just doing that like Static Man pose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not even moving, just appears.
Oh, nice.
The funniest bit for me was knowing who Static Man was led on top of during the count. For those that don't know, it's Matt's pregnant wife.
I thought that was a Gary Home movie.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be me, wasn't it?
Yeah, you got punched out.
That's it. And we,
then,
yeah.
I didn't have a you to hand, unfortunately.
I'm just trying to imagine with this guy, Static Man. Great singing, by the way, by Johnny. I'm just trying to imagine what The Rock would say if this guy walked down and introduced himself. Like, he would be absolutely destroyed. Like, just, you know what I mean? Static Man.
Yeah, but the thing though, as soon as they got into a grapple, like Static Man would just be like, you couldn't beat him because as soon as he touched you, you'd just be like, oh.
Yeah, so Matt, like, give us a rundown of Static Man. Like, is he actually a superhero? Is he going to just be a wrestler? Like, what's going on?
My original concept was like we were running out of time to make the video, so I was like, how can we make this a bit easier? So my original idea was Static Man, as in like he doesn't move because he's static,
Right.
not electrified, which is why every moment in that video he's not actually moving.
Right, okay.
And then Jonathan was just like, nah, that's rubbish. Just put some lightning in there.
Yeah. And so, well, I just wanted some effects, do all sort of like it, Undertaker has lightning. Why can't anyone else have lightning?
So how does that work then with the fights then? So is it like that Doctor Who? Like it's when they're not looking at you, you suddenly are closer.
Yeah, exactly. And all of a sudden, like your next thing you know, you're on the map. Let's go, Al Hebner. 1, 2, 3.
That, I have to say, was a nice touch with Al Hebner coming out in the cup of tea.
Yeah.
Right.
That was
I
a
mean,
nice touch.
it was the only thing wrestling related, so it got my vote.
Amazing. It just, yeah.
When we did like do a wrestling intro, like my mind went to sort of like the Titantron video as opposed to like doing an entrance. Because obviously him coming down the ramp might be a fairly like non-event. Just as soon as he comes through the curtain, he's just like.
Well, static is double meaning, isn't it? You've got the static of the electricity
exactly.
and static of him being perfectly still.
Well, I assumed because of the lightning, I assumed that was static was he would touch his opponent and they would just get loads of little electrical shocks and eventually they'd just give up. Because...
I think it depends on what shoes he's wearing and whether he's rubbing a balloon on his head, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. They've got to have rubber soles, haven't they?
That's another element. If he comes to the curtain holding a balloon and he's like most feared wrestler ever.
We could bring this back. Part 2 of the wrestling. You've got to use the same characters and people. But what happens next? I actually have a match. I don't know.
You can have a triple threat match, can't you?
I definitely want to see Broccoli Man versus Static Man.
Yeah, a number one contenders match.
My name was Floretitude, not Broccoli Man. I mean, just say it, Broccoli Man.
And then someone can tap in. What was your name? Sorry, Big Belly Paul.
Whoa, Big Daddy Paul.
What was it? What was it?
Big Daddy Paul.
Oh, Big Daddy Paul. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think you were
Big Belly
gesturing
Paul.
to your tummy at the time. I misheard
my
that.
abs. It's my abs.
But I thought there was a bit of
AD, I would like to formally change that. That is now the name. Big Belly Paul. That's now the
I don't know what I honestly heard that in what you said. I'm so sorry.
Big Daddy Paul has been a wrestling character for over 20 years, and Dave will attest to that.
Gary, what was yours and Jonathan's character names? Did you have any?
I'd hate to disappoint, but we didn't have any character names. So welcome to suggestions.
To be fair, Gary just reminded me of like an American show where they have the almost like hillbilly that gets up off the couch in his dressing gown and his slippers to like have a go at somebody. That's what Gary reminded me of.
A hillbilly, thanks.
I mean, the concept was that like the lyric says everyone wants to be him, so it's sort of a similar to fan camp kind of thing, and it's gone to these random people and they're like dressing up as him as well because he's like such an inspiration,
such an icon. Yeah.
Exactly.
Alexa, turn the light off. Well, that's the 2 challenge attempts for this week, so please vote for your favourite by clicking on the link in the comments. For our next challenge, the teams need to make a... Alexa, turn the lights off. Well, that's the 2 challenge attempts for this week. Please vote for your favourite by clicking on the link in the comments. For our next challenge, the teams need to make a 2-minute condensed version of an entire film. If you didn't hear that, a 2-minute condensed film of an entire film. Alexa, turn the lights on. You now have 5 seconds to hit like, click subscribe, and smash another video. Your time starts now.
I'm off to smash.
Hayley, I think you've got to do that again because you said a 2-minute condensed version of a condensed film.
Yeah, 2 minutes condensed film of a film or something. But I reckon leave it in. You can leave it in.
No, leave it in. It's so good. It's so good because you were cracking it. Oh, for goodness sake, Alexa, turn on living room lamp.